Hello friends, in today's video we are going to give you a detailed tutorial on how to create this cute farmhouse inspired DIY trunk using our Chalk Couture transfers. We really hope you enjoy today's video. This should answer a lot of the questions we have received from you guys in regards to the transfers, how to use them, how you can find them, and we will leave a link in the description box below on where you can order them. Thank you so much for watching today. We really hope you enjoy the video. Alright guys, so in today's upcycled DIY video, we are going to take this wooden chest. This used to be part of my personal home decor years ago, and I've had it in storage, and I pulled it out. I have chalk painted it with Annie Sloan's graphite chalk paint. The color is graphite. And you guys have seen me paint before, so I went ahead and did this off camera. And we are going to prepare it for our transfers that we're going to be doing. So I like to put a rubber glove on for this. And we're going to be using this Johnson's paste wax. You can pick this up at your local hardware stores. I put my disposable glove on, and now I have a sock that I've put on over the top of that. And I'm just going to rub my fingertips into this paste wax, and then I'm going to apply it to my piece. You will allow the wax to dry for 20 to 30 minutes before moving on to the next step. Alright guys, so we are going to use a Chalk Couture transfer. We're actually going to use many of them on this project. This one is part of the Corner Market collection, so it's called Corner Market Chickens, and this is $24.99, and these are the reusable transfers from Chalk Couture. We will put a link in the description box below for you guys. So what I've done, because this is curved, I've had to really make sure I push out all the bubbles in the transfer. And as I apply my ink, I'm going to continue to make sure that there aren't any bubbles in this screened area here where the design is. If there's bubbles over here in the green vinyl part, that's fine. You just don't want any in your screened design area. So I am going to use our Chalk Couture rubber squeegee and some of our white Couture ink. We're using the ink today and not the paste. And I'm just going to start applying some of this. I'm working upside down, so bear with me, guys. And some people have asked about the squeegee and if there are larger squeegees. There is a large squeegee with a handle, and it's just all about preference. I prefer this squeegee out of all of them. Of course, when I'm working on a smaller project, I'll use one of the smaller squeegees. I'm just going to disperse some of this around here. That should be enough. And they asked why so many passes over the image. Well, what you want to do is you want to go in and make sure you remove all of the excess ink or paste, because what it'll do, like if I didn't wipe this off right here, that's going to leave a big ridge in my design, and you do not want that. So you will do multiple passes. Now I'm going to just go back over and I'm going to just clean it up here. And with the larger squeegee, even though you're covering more area, you still have to make several passes over it to remove that excess paste. Okay guys, so I have laid out some more transfers here on the chest. This here says Farm Fresh. This is part of the Corner Market collection and it's called Groceries. So this comes with a few transfers that you're going to see. It comes on one sheet and then you cut them apart. So if you visit the link below for the website, you will look up Corner Market Collection Groceries, and that's where you will find these. So we're going to do Farm Fresh. I'm trying to keep all of the transfers on here current, but I am using a couple retired ones, and I apologize for that. You won't be able to get a couple of them that I'm going to show you, but they worked out too perfectly on this project for me not. So between these two bands that look like faux straps is where we're putting this chicken wire transfer. So what I will do is after we get this done, I will go and wash it out. I'll have to let it dry completely. That's another thing with the transfers. When you use these, you want to, the majority of the time, you want to wash them in between each use. Even if you're using them on the same project and moving from one position to another, I like to wash them. I feel like there's, you make less mistakes. There's less chance of running or smearing if ink has gotten up underneath the transfer. So make sure you let them dry completely, because if they're wet and you put ink on them, it creates a big smudge up underneath the image that's on the transfer. So you'll want to wash it completely. So we're going to go ahead and we'll do this barbed wire first and Farm Fresh, and then as we go along and I show you the rest of the transfers as we move to different parts of the trunk, I will let you know what collection they are part of. All right, guys, I just have a cleaning wipe and I've wrapped it around the tip of my finger, and I'm just going to wipe this off. So it's that easy to clean up. If you're working on a real small detailed area and you need to clean up, a Q-tip works really good. Sometimes you can clean it up pretty well with the Q-tip dry, but if not, you can dampen it and just kind of squeeze it and wring the water out of it. I see a little tiny spot right here on this curve, so I'm going to go ahead and
on a flat surface you normally don't see
this.
We're really trying to work a sticky situation here. So
but I think it worked out pretty good.
It did.
So I'm going to get another area set up and we will show you the next step. Okay, so this is the side of the trunk, and we are using another one of their transfers. This is Fresh from the Farm. There are multiple pieces to this transfer, and maybe at the end I can show you everything that comes with each one of them, because we're not going to use every single piece that comes on each transfer. So the Fresh here, the cow, and the milk are part of that collection. Fresh is up here so high because I'm going to put this on and then I'm going to dry it with the heat gun, and then it has another transfer that says From, and then the Farm. So you have to kind of do those one by one and dry them in between so that you're not putting this part of the transfer over what you've just done and causing it to smear and make a mess. So you're going to dry in between each phase when you're overlapping transfers. So this is a super tight angle and it's going to be really hard to film me doing all this. So I'm still using our white Chalk Couture ink. I'm still using the same squeegee, and I'm going to apply the ink to these transfers here the same way I showed you guys before, and then we'll come back on and show you how it's looking for each step that we do on this side of the chest. So here's what we have so far. We've got our fresh, our cow, and milk, and I have used this heat gun here. This is made by Marvy. We picked this up at Michael's a long time ago. I know Michael's has their own Recollections brand heat gun. You can purchase there. You can also do a Google search or go on Amazon.com and look for a crafting heat gun. And this works really good to dry your ink and chalk paste. So I have From placed, and I actually lucked out. The transfer edge is just barely overlapping and touching these little marks that come off of the side of Fresh. And I'm going to use this smaller squeegee. This is actually one of their older squeegees that we cut in half to create this smaller one. They now have a whole variety of different squeegees and sizes that you can also find on the website. So I'm just going to put some white ink on this and go over From. So as you can see, I cleaned that up with the white. Sorry, I did it off camera. Mom and I are multitasking right now, so I'm doing this part on my own for just a few minutes. So I'm just going to take that heat gun again and go over the word From until it's dry to the touch, and then we'll apply the next transfer. I went ahead and did the farm off camera because, like I said, I was filming alone and it was just easier that way. So we have Fresh from the farm and our cow and milk. And I have another little design I want to do here, but I'm actually going to use a regular stencil for that. So I will do all of that at the end. I want this to kind of have a little bit of a Subway art look and feel to it. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do on the other side of the chest. So let me move it around and we'll take a look at that. Okay, so this is the other side of the trunk. So up here on the top of the lid, I have Bacon and then this cute pig. And these are a part of the, what is it, Fresh Off the Farm, Mom? Will you look? I'm sorry, guys. It's late and I'm tired. We're both tired. Our brains aren't working anymore. Fresh from the farm. So this pig, Bacon, the Fresh from the Farm logo that we put on the other side up here on the top, the cow and the milk are all part of that one transfer. The transfer is $39.99. And you end up with, let me count here, 11 transfer pieces on one sheet. And like I said, you cut them apart. Okay, here's our pig. And we have Bacon. So I'm going to turn this around and we're going to start working on the front of it. So as we start working on the front, we are going back to using the Corner Market collection, and the scale is part of the mercantile transfer, and the cute milk can is part of the grocery transfer, and the family owned and operated that's here at the bottom is also part of grocery. So I'm going to show you in the catalog how this looks. Okay, so when I say the scale's part of mercantile, this is how it comes. It's all one sheet. And then see where these lines are? This is perforated here, so you just cut these apart with a pair of scissors. And you'll have mercantile will be its own piece, since 1902 is its own piece. The scale I just showed you, quality dry goods and black sheep wool, it's $24.99. And then when I talk about the grocery transfer that the milk can and family owned and operated, that's all one sheet. It's also $24.99. Same thing, you just cut them apart on the perforated lines. Then we have this awesome sheep, and you guys, some of you that have been following us for a while have seen us use him before. So he just comes as one transfer. He's $24.99, but also part of the Corner Market collection. And then we have our cute rooster and hen that we put on top of the trunk. As you can see, it gives the dimensions. It's 18 long by 12 high. 18 inches, I should say, by 12 inches high. And it's also $24.99 and $33.49 in Canada. These also ship to Canada. So for all of our Canadian friends,
If you
you
become
won't
a
miss out. Okay, so I've got the milk can over here on this side of the front, and the scale over here, and then family owned and operated is down here towards the bottom. I am going to do this off camera because Mom is still working, so let me get the ink put on this and we'll come right back and show you. All right, I have the milk can on, family owned and operated, and the scale. So what you'll see is I've got the scale a little lower than the milk can, and I did that on purpose because I'm going to put a transfer on top of the scale here, and then I have something else with a stencil that I'm going to do right underneath the milk can here. So there is a method to my madness. So I need to dry this really good with the heat gun before I can apply the next transfer to the top of the scale. So I will do that and come right back. So now that I've got my scale dry, I have placed this smaller rooster transfer on top of the scale, so it's going to look like he's standing right on top of it. So this rooster is the other stencil I was talking about when I said that I was going to use a couple stencil transfers. I should call them transfers, I'm sorry. That is retired. So this, as well as the chicken wire, sorry. The chicken wire transfer we used up on the top. This rooster is part of that same Farmhouse transfer set that is now retired. I apologize, but I just thought he was perfect for the top of this scale. So this rooster and the chicken wire are the only two retired transfers that we are going to use on this project. So I am going to go ahead and get some ink placed on him, and I will come back and show you how he looks up there. Here we are at the back of the trunk, and down at the bottom I have centered the mercantile transfer. I'm going to put this on, and then I told you guys I was going to use a regular stencil to fill in some areas on the trunk. I think what I want to do above mercantile is I think I want to use this Farmers Market Country Fresh Vegetables, hand selected and hand packed since 1921. I think I want to place this up above mercantile after I get it on and dried. So this is a folk art stencil, and I'll show you the packaging. We purchased this quite a long time ago. I think we've had this for a few years now, but we got it at Hobby Lobby and it was $7.99. And again, it's made by Plaid and it's their folk art brand. And so it came with this one I told you I want to use, and then it also came with this one here. And I love this star. I have used it a whole bunch and I just really like it. So I think I'll be using the star on the chest also to fill in some gaps. So I am going to go ahead and get the ink on Mercantile and I'll show you what it looks like after I get it done. Okay, I've had a change of plans. So I'm not going to use that Farmer's Market stencil above my Mercantile like I said I thought I was going to. I decided to do Main Street Market up here on the back of the lid, and then what I might do is come back in and maybe just center this star here, or maybe do like 2 or 3 of them. We'll see, but I'm gonna go ahead and get Main Street Market put on. I'm gonna lay some ink on that, and then I will come back and we will decide where to go next with this.
All right, guys, so the trunk is now finished. We are actually at the show. I wanted to show you how the little rooster looked on top of the scale. As you can see, I added a few smaller transfers to the front as well. Here is a look at how the top of the trunk turned out. I'm so loving this piece. On the side over here, I added Country Fresh. And on the back, I ended up using a single star from that folk art stencil and added some smaller stars down the sides of the back of the trunk. And here's just another overview. I really hope you guys enjoyed this detailed video on how to use our Chalk Couture transfers, and we will look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.